This is Comic Picks by the Glick.
Hey, I'm your host, Jason Glick.
Hey, Jason Glick, how the hell are you?
I'm good, John. Yourself?
Oh, not too bad. What do you got in store for us tonight?
Okay, we've got the inaugural title. It's like in DC's new Black Label line. Now, for those of you who haven't heard about it, Black Label is basically DC's mature readers superheroes title, title line. And well, okay, that's one definition of it. Other is like this is like the line they're giving to titles that have like evergreen potential. Stuff that's created by the DC's best writers and best artists and Alan Moore. It's like to show you just what they can do with a character. It's like when they're untethered from continuity and just given free reign to do whatever they can. And it's like, and there's been a lot of titles. There's been several titles announced. One that's been garnered lots of controversy due to the bat penis, with Batman Damned, and a lot of other titles that they're migrating over from DC's regular trade line under it. But as far as the series that they've chosen to kick it off, we've got Batman White Knight, written and illustrated by Sean Murphy. And John, you read this too, didn't you?
I did indeed. Indeed.
I mean, you told me a while ago this looked like a Batman series that you wanted that you wanted to read about. So what about it actually grabbed your attention?
The entire premise of it, actually. I mean, it's not it's it's one of those questions. Well, I would have to say it's one of those premises that really kind of piqued my curiosity as to oh, okay. But without getting into, what that is, I'll let you go on ahead and explain that because I don't want to spoil anything quite yet.
Oh, no, man, because this, you kind of had me the setup is basically spoiled from the start because I mean on the back cover it basically says the Joker goes sane, because that's basically the premise of White Knight. It's basically, what if the Joker finally, was regained some semblance of sanity? It's and then what would he do? It's if that happened. It's I mean, the first issue does a really good job of laying that out. From setting up the this meeting from the Joker, who is given the canony of Jack Napier, who, if you've seen Batman '89, you'll know where Sean Murphy is drawing from right there. It's and it shows him completely saying, going to meet Batman in Arkham Asylum and saying, "Batman, I need your help," and that's a really good hook right there, because you want to just what has prompted this role reversal, to the point where it immediately flashes back to a year before, where Batman's just doing his usual Joker's escaped, I'm gonna chase him, gonna go through all these people's houses, and cause all sorts of property damage, and be a random guy along the way. It's in order to finally corner the Joker, in this abandoned pharmaceutical plant where he just Joker's decided, hey, here's some pills. It's maybe it's you'll find, maybe it's I'll take these and I'll just see what happens. It's and it turns out that, well, Batman just feeds them to him, because this is the Batman who is on one hand he's very violent, very driven, but it's a Batman who is not too dissimilar from the platonic ideal of the character. And as the issue goes on, it's we find out that, hey, turns out these pills are actually helping the Joker, and now he's actually regressed to a certain sane perspective, and he's also determined hey, you know what? I realize that Batman is is kind of kind of the cancer on Gotham. It's and now I'm going to be Gotham's White Knight. If Batman's Gotham's Dark Knight, I'm going to be her White Knight and save the city from him.
I think that the most interesting thing about that is that it's literally tackling the question that doesn't get asked often.
Yes.
What about the consequences of what a superhero or a hero does in these? And Joker not only, and Napier, as is called in there, he tackles it. He's like,
Hmm.
yeah, what about this? Here, let's talk about this in practical terms. Here it is. This is what's actually happening.
Yeah, and I like the fact that like this is a this isn't like a proper continuity series. I mean, it's like it like I mean it's like it like because it's like outside of proper continuity. It's like like Murphy can actually pose these questions, and like it's pretty interesting. It's like to see him like just like ask this stuff, especially with like a version of Batman like who, yeah, he's more violent than usual, but he's not, like I said, he's not too he's it's not an unrecognizable version of Batman that we've got here.
Mhm.
Yeah, and and while I think that it's a really like compelling setup for the series, my biggest problem with the series is that it doesn't take that far enough. In that it's like there's I mean like yeah, it's like the setup is like like hey, you've got like a sane Joker like crusading on behalf of Gotham. But it's like Murphy doesn't like push that as far, like doesn't run with that as far as he could have. Like I mean like there's some interesting bits like with like the reveal of the Batman Devastation Fund where you find out that Gotham like is appropriating like $3 billion a year like to it's like to deal with all the destruction that Batman causes, and you think, wow, holy shit, man! It's like that's bad. This is not a good look on Batman, and it makes perfect sense. And then later on in the series, he undoes it when you find out that who's but the Batman Devastation Fund isn't being replenished by taxpayers. It's being replenished by companies fronted by Bruce Wayne himself, and that's kind of like that's kind of like what like really what bothers me in the sense that it's like like here we've got like this it's like this chance to, like like to really like call out Batman. It's like and the superhero genre in general for this. Like I I honestly would have liked to have had. In fact, I think that that Napier should have like done his homework here. That he should have gone one step further and realized that, wait a second, these companies are being like replenished by Bruce Wayne fronted industries. Wait a second, what if that means Bruce Wayne is Batman? And what if I called him out on this? If you're going like if you're not doing a continuity driven series that's set in DCU continuity, just you gotta go all the way. So just gotta like go all out and just like take the setup in like all the crazy like directions that it could. Like I don't know. It's like, John, what do you think about this?
I understand your point, and I see that, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm curious as to whether he wanted to really make him more of the detective. Um, you know, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, or maybe he didn't really want to ascribe that kind of a quality to him. That's the only, like, okay, well,
You
traditionally
mean
that was
ascribe that quality to Napier? You mean?
correct, if I may
Okay.
say it that way. Yeah, exactly. Because that's something we expect out of Bruce Wayne slash Batman. Is the whole, well, let me take a let's do a little bit more research. He's always been the detective. And White Knight, certainly the title itself, implies, well, maybe he could do the same thing, but maybe they didn't want to. But I do find it interesting that that the comparison is made that they, by other characters in this book that essentially they're the same, just a little different.
Yeah. It's like and it's interesting like how like like Murphy takes some like does some interesting takes on like on Savage Shift like what happens with Alfred is like really like is really kind of surprising. It's like and it's like and the friction that develops between like Batgirl and Nightwing it's like is pretty credible as well, along with like and the tension that develops between like Gordon and it's like and Batman too. It's like it's like when Napier like starts making his case like to the people of Gotham and it strikes a chord. And Gordon realizes like it's like this is kind of this makes a lot of sense. And also when he does his whole it's like this is the point where you disappear like without a word. Like no, let me take care of that for you, because yeah.
That was a great scene. It really was quite an interesting role reversal there a little bit. But I mean, like in a sarcastic way. It's not like Batman turned around and Gordon was gone. He just walked away.
Indeed, yeah. It's like like Murphy's got a good handle on like the conventions of Batman to like find like compelling ways to subvert them. Like even when like when Gordon has to take the wheel in a Batmobile in order to finally bring Batman in. That was like a pretty entertaining chase scene as well.
Yeah. And I'd have to say another nod to the Batman movie.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe like the Batman '89 hasn't quite like aged well. It's like since we're living in like a post Batman Begins and Dark Knight era or post Nolan trilogy, really.
Yeah.
But God knows, like that those movies that movie was hugely influential. It's like in just defining the look, and style of Batman for the time.
Absolutely. There's also some other. I think in Joker's little shrine to Batman, you can see the end credit poster for the animated series as well.
That's a good point as well, because it's like the animated series also has a strong hold on this series as well, specifically with its take on Harley Quinn.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because like I mean like on one hand it was almost confusing at first when the Joker tries to put go when he goes to Harley Quinn and says I want to apologize, I want to do right by you, and tries to, and she's just almost laughing him off, especially when he finally puts the ring on her finger, and then it's revealed that holy crap, there's another Harley Quinn out there as well, which on one hand from a narrative perspective it's kind of confusing, but from a meta perspective it makes perfect sense because the Harley Quinn that's kind of that's arguably dominant right now is the one from Suicide Squad and Margot Robbie's interpretation of her, but the one that's that's been around for years, that's a lot of people like you and me, John, it's that we think of Harley Quinn, we think of the Harley Quinn jester the Joker's sidekick from Batman the Animated Series, and that's what Murphy is running with here, because then you've got Harleen Quinzel, it's the doctor from Arkham who fell in love with the Joker, and in this series who wants to help Jack Napier be the man that he can be. But in a nice twist, Murphy takes this other Harley Quinn and basically has her be arguably the main villain of the series, the one who who loved the Joker's worst tendencies and wanted that one back. It's interesting to think that hey, he's taking here's you've got the traditional animated series Harley who wants the best of the Joker, and the other one the mainstream one who wants I want the crazy Joker. It's there's some interesting commentary there if you think about it. It's especially with Neo Joker as the new Harley builds herself, becoming the main villain of the series. I think it's ultimately I kind of thought that was one of the more interesting parts of the series. It makes you think about just hey, there's these different versions of the characters both warring for the soul of it's like of the Joker. It's like, and which one? It's like, which one do we want? Do we want like the one who like who can be sane, or the one who's like who just like thrives on insanity, brutality, and murder?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but ultimately, it's like I don't know. It's like at the end, though, it's like for me, it's like I was just a little disappointed in the end by the fact that it's like by the fact that Murphy didn't like completely run with like the idea of a sane Joker. It's like going over to the side of good. It's like to the point where it like ultimately the series kind of bends back toward like okay, it's like because bends back toward Batman knowing all the angles. It's like and being one step ahead of everyone in the end, like as to how things are going to turn out. Because without giving too much away, like Batman does figure things out, and then in the end that opening scene with Napier coming to Batman locked up in Arkham, it's like that comes full circle in the context of the series, and it makes perfect sense. But it also like really kind of validates Batman's approach. Like, yeah, it's like there's been nods to. I mean, like I said, the series like started out with like like an implicit criticism of Batman's approach, but in the end, it kind of comes back around to saying that, oh, it's like, hey, Batman, it's like he kind of had the right idea all along. Like in the end.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and there's some, and it's like, and I mean, it's like there's lots, like there's like lots of little things to like about it, just from like the fact that Murphy was. I mean, okay, it was nice to see that Murphy was able to ask these questions at all, but I also liked like his art as well, because Murphy's really good at like at doing like a good grim and gritty approach to Batman, but also just like absorbing like some of the more outlandish aspects of the character, especially his rogues gallery, making them look like a piece of the world as well. Especially when you get like the main crux of the series, which involves a giant freeze gun pointed at Gotham. It's like John. It's like so. I mean, like what did you think? We've been talking about his writing most of the series. What did you think of Murphy's art for in this?
It was really really good. I really enjoyed the way that as you said, the Rogues Gallery was depicted, and it seemed to fit the mood.
Okay, it's like it's like I mean it's like overall. I mean it's like I don't know. It's like
What did you think?
yeah. I guess I'm trying to like sum up my thoughts on the series overall, because I mean like it started off like asking like asking so many interesting questions, and like calling Batman out for like for his approach. It's like, and it's like, hey, I have no problem with that, because it's like, hey, it's just we've got like so many comics already that just affirm like that what Batman does is right and good and on the side of the angels, and to have one basically go like, well, maybe not. It's like I don't know, it's like, and also just to run with the idea of like of Joker like achieving sanity. I mean, I had no problem with this, because I don't know. I guess one of the things that I kept thinking about when I was reading this is Grant Morrison's approach to the character. It's like that was established in Arkham Asylum, in the sense that the Joker like wears sanity like the rest of us wear pants. It's like he'll put on a different, like he'll change his approach, like like just whatever, because like what to reflect whatever society is feeling like. And this new like sane version of Joker, it's just a Joker like putting on a different pair of pants, and it's like, and I think that's a perfectly valid interpretation of the character as well. And I kind of wish that Murphy had completely run with it to the point where it's like one of the bits of dramatic tension towards the end of the series is it's revealed that the pills are starting to lose their effectiveness. And that was like, man, it's like that's disappointing. Like just give us the sane Joker. Don't have him revert to type, man.
Hmm. Yeah, what you just said there, it was, I was like, I kind of wished that he had kind of just stayed that way. It would have been interesting.
Yeah, commit to this the direction.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like, and I guess I mean, like, I do want to bring up, like, so John, like, I mean, like, so, like, were you glad you picked this up? Like, did you enjoy it overall?
Yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. It was engaging enough for me. Uh, there are parts in it where I was like, okay, well, I see where it was going. There could have been, in your, like you were saying, maybe a little bit more depth to Napier. We'll call him
Yeah.
Napier. And that would have been fascinating. Although what I was given was fine. Um,
It's like,
you know,
it was good. It was good, but
I would say the thing that really, the thing that really was interesting to see was Harley Quinn.
yeah, it's like I think, like, Murphy did a really good job of giving Harley Quinn, it's like, a real depth of character in the series. Just, honoring her in original interpretation as Joker's sidekick, and then, it's like making her into, like, a real, like, identifiable human being in this series as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's where its strength lies, and that's fine. I'm good with that. That they would have had to sacrifice, the Napier character for that. Okay, it still kind of worked for me. I also did really enjoy, like you said, the things I found fascinating wasn't necessarily Batman in this, and that's going to sound very weird. What I found interesting was Commissioner Gordon,
Hmm.
Nightwing, Batgirl. I like these cast of characters. Harley Quinn. I like those. That was really interesting. And
Because they kind of break with Batman in interesting ways over the course of the series.
and that's the challenge, right? It's like, okay, I mean, I think that there's a part in there where it's like, um, you know, Napier's talking to Nightwing, and he's saying, "Hey, yeah, he's like, and what's his first reaction? No way, no way." But it's just like, hear me out. Here's what
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Napier, like, has really good arguments over the course of the series. It's like, even with, like I said, it's just pretty, like, common sense stuff.
hmm
It's like common sense arguments against the superhero genre. Like,
hmm
it makes, like I said, he makes good arguments, and that's it's like, and that's I kind of wish that, like, that Murphy had, like, kind of run with this, like, to, like to the end, with keeping the Joker sane. So,
Yep.
but I guess, like, that's something to consider for the sequel, because I don't know if you've heard about this, but Murphy has already announced that, like, there is going to be a sequel to this, and it's going to be called Curse of the White Knight.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'd be on board to read that.
Okay, yeah, there's been nothing else announced about this aside from a promotional image, and it's got, like, Joker looking like Joker, but also it's apparently, for whatever reason or another, it's going to involve Azrael as well.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, so you remember who Azrael is, right?
Vaguely.
Okay, he's the guy who took over for Batman when his back was broken by Bane back in the 90s. Okay, but
yes. Okay.
it's coming back to you.
No, yes, it is. And then I thought of something that you sparked something else about the plot that
Yeah.
I totally forgot about, but that's okay in this novel.
Okay, yeah, it's like, I mean, it's like, I'll ask you about this after we're done, but I think that if I were a betting man, I would think that the Azrael, if Azrael we're getting in the Curse of the White Knight, may not be Jean-Paul Valley, but he may be another character that was quietly written out of, like, of this original miniseries. So it's like, and I think that would make a lot of sense. So, but it's like, so yeah, it's like, I mean, like, yeah, I enjoyed White Knight as well. I kind of wish that it had gone further. It's like, in terms of, like, the stuff that it set out, but even in the end, it's like it was still it was entertaining enough between the writing and it's like and Murphy's art, and also there was that final page thing that basically like kind of like does drastically change like the status quo for this this alternate universe that Murphy has established. So hey, it's like if he wants to keep doing Batman miniseries in this vein as long as they're successful, then more power to him. Though like hey, whatever whenever else he wants to team up with like other writers, like he's already worked with like Scott Snyder on multiple projects, and Rick Remender. It's like on Tokyo Ghost for Image. It's like he's a guy. Murphy's a guy that I'm definitely willing to follow to whatever project he does. So there you go. It's like, and this one was entertaining enough, if nothing else.
Yep, absolutely agree. So what you going to talk about next time?
Okay, well, unless something else pops up, like I've got 3 volumes of stuff written by Jeff Lemire, like who was someone I've like been following for a while, and so it's like 2 of these volumes are ends of his series, and one is a new beginning. So it's like hey, next time it's gonna be Jeff Lemire, 2 endings and a beginning, unless something else pops up that I feel compelled to talk about. So there you go.
All right, and we'll catch you next time on Comic Picks with a Click.
All right, laters.